Now, in my previous videos talking about B33, one part of the game I've pretty much neglected is the levels. Mostly what I've talked about is the story and the weird environments, but the levels are such a major part of the game, with over 190 of them. So today, I'm going to rank every single level in B33. And I'm going to be ranking off mainly three things: how much I like the level visually, how fun the gameplay is, and if it has any story relevance whatsoever. That's pretty much all. I'm going to get into the ranking now. Starting with 193, Sinister Clockwork. This level's gimmick is it just kills you as soon as you spawn by using a green demon. You can kind of get a little bit far by running away from it, but you're just going to die. It looks okay, but most players are just going to die as soon as they enter. 192, Hazy Maze Cave Empty. A bit better than Sinister Clockwork due to the fact that you can actually explore a little bit by outrunning the green demon. The level has some cool changes, like the lack of water in the lake and several bombs telling you to leave. Otherwise, same issues of the level before, a lack of a star, and you're most likely just going to die as soon as you enter. 191, Monkey Slide Beta. This level's so low due to having probably the dumbest star in the entire game. For some reason, you have to touch 4 random corners of the main starting room, with literally no indication that, like, the secrets exist, like in Mario 64. What makes actually no sense is that the star used to be at the end of the slide, which makes way more sense until it got changed for no reason. So this level just kind of pisses me off, and it's just visually kind of boring as well. 190, Checkerboard's Fabricated. This area is visually the exact same as the normal checkerboard, unlike the other fabricated levels that are usually much different. Honestly, don't know why this level exists, like, at all. Normal checkerboards has some story relevance, along with being in a much better spot. The star is luckily very free to grab. Honestly, didn't even know this area existed until I was getting all 460 stars. Kinda shows how forgettable it is. 189, Yajima Test. This level is based on a Gigaleak map. It's just a black void with some red squares, a Chuckya, and a star, along with a random metal cap, just as useful as the one in Womp's Fortress in the base game. Due to this level actually having some relevance, it's not the worst, but gameplay, probably visually it is. But I guess it fits with the other test levels of its area. 188, Athletic 2. Definitely one of the worst test levels, I think. I think it's visually one of the worst, other than Yajima Test. And the red coin star is kind of annoying. The only notable thing is that there's a really funny hole that kind of just looks like a cannon that just kills you by going into it. Gives you some bonus points, I guess. 187, Collision Test. This level is extremely similar to Yajima Test, also just being a small platform with a single star, though I think it's a lot better visually. The terrain always reminded me of Legos. That's like all there is to say, very boring, but fitting. 186, Piranha's Hidden Pillar. This is the worst boss in B33, since it's just a crappy reskin of the Wiggler. This is shared with some other bosses like the Scuttlebug, but I think it's way worse here. The area where it's found makes like no sense. It's just tucked away in some door in a random level, and the piranha plant hovering around just looks really stupid. Can't really tell where to hit it anyway. I like the area visually quite a bit though. I think it looks kind of cool. 185, Athletic. Very similar in design to Athletic 2, which makes sense. I think the layout is way more interesting, though I think the star is in a pretty dumb spot, just being in some random box on the side. I think the level should have started you at the bottom, and the star be at the top, not the other way around. Not horrible, but forgettable. 184, Brownstony Steps. I think the levels now are already marginally better. Brownstony Steps is a small trek up a tall mountain-like level until reaching the star. It's definitely the most unique visually so far, not just using the basic test level assets. It's a fun little platforming challenge. Fortunately, it's still very basic, and the lack of a skybox is quite boring. 183, Stone Island Pathway. Extremely basic platforming, but I honestly like it visually. I think the blue sky just complements everything else quite well. Even though the whole level is essentially 2 90-degree turns, and I think the small tower where the stars contain looks nice. It's not a bad level. 182, Castle 1. One of the larger test levels. I think the architecture is quite unique, and the whole level changing once you reach the star is cool. Unfortunately, it makes getting the star quite annoying, since you have to find it again once reaching the top. With the large size and lack of enemies in this level, it's one of the more liminal areas, I guess. 181, Cubic Greens. A straightforward climb to the star, extremely simple, but I like it visually. I think the black skybox complements the green better than it does in Brownstony Steps. There are also some enemies in this one to add more obstacles, I guess. 180, Castle 2. Visually identical to Castle 1, but I think the actual climb to the star is more fun, along with the game not putting the old switcheroo on you once you get to the star. Fun fact, this was the very last star I collected in my 460 run.
mean, nobody probably cares, but it's kind of cool. 179, Test Level. The appropriately named Test Level is actually one of the more challenging ones. It starts off as just a simple trek until you're required to reach some high-up platforms with some wall jumps. It's visually the same as most of the other test levels, but the presence of some actual challenge makes it go higher than them. 178, Tall Mountain Beta. This is the worst beta version of each main game level. Even though it contains 5 stars, which is quite a lot, the camera just does not seem to function in this level. I feel like I'm fighting with it the entire time. I also just think Tall Mountain is a very ugly level, and I swear it takes so much damn longer to climb than it does the original. If the camera functioned, it'd probably be quite a bit higher. 177, Underwater Maze. You know what's not very fun in Mario 64? Mazes. You know what else isn't very fun in Mario 64? Underwater levels. We'll combine both and you get the appropriately named Underwater Maze, where you must swim through tight chasms until you find the star. Now this level's not lower because I really like how it looks visually. The lower render distance makes the water look foggy and dirty, which fits along with the metallic junk that can be found. I think the dead eel obstacle that can also be found looks really cool. This level really does feel like some sort of bomb shelter that got flooded. Sadly, the gameplay kind of sucks, so it's pretty low. 176, Minion Base. Honestly, I think this level is quite good for a test level. The name being Minion Base is kind of interesting. Maybe in-universe it's test for Bowser's Castle-like area, or like a minion outpost. The goal is just to grab the 5 silver stars, and you can find a little structure that looks like a cute little house. The only issue is it's visually lacking, but this test level feels like it had a bit more personality. 175, Peach's Slide Beta. Very similar to the base Peach's Slide, but way simpler. The issue is with how simple Peach's Slide already is, this level is just left to be a red string above the void. I honestly think this level's location is weird. Like, shouldn't it be in Vanilla Lobby with all the other base game beta levels, but for some reason they just stuck it in floor 4B. I do like how you enter it via a large Peach portrait though, I think that's kind of cool. Okay, now onto a long series of Bowser fights. 174, Bowser in the Dark World, December 95. An extremely simplified version of the base SM64 Bowser fight. The best part about it is the funny squeak sounds he makes when you throw him, and once he's gone. 173, Bowser in the Dark World, Shinosaki. Exact same thing, but you get a red star, and the skybox looks nice. 172, Bowser in the Fire Sea. Great music and great skybox. Guess I go a bit higher because of that. 171, Bowser in the Checkered Madness. Visually one of the best, mechanically one of the worst. You literally just avoid him by entering the door behind him and breaking a crate that contains the red star. Though this is very unique, so it gets brownie points. 170, Bowser in the Sub. Great music along with interesting visuals being inside the sub. Pretty cool concept, so it goes higher. 169, Bowser in the Airship Cabin. Very unique spot for a Bowser fight, and I like how the area looks. 168, Bowser in the Bully Battlefield. Best of the basic Bowser fights due to the presence of actual challenge. The bullies make it so you have to strategize and either kill him or lure Bowser away. The idea of it being in a volcano is really cool too, still low due to the Bowser fights being pretty underwhelming for the most part. 167, Fire Fortress. I think this level is sort of a mess visually. A weird volcano with a bunch of flying geometry around it. The goal is to get the 5 silver stars, but I could not for the life of me figure out how to get on the highest floating platform. Until I figured out you need to stand on some random corner to teleport up there. Probably my bad. But the level is still not amazing, higher up than a lot of the other ones due to at least being unique visually. 165, Fire Bubble B-Roll. Onto one of the very first levels you'll find. It's simply the beta version of Lethal Lava Land. Fortunately making it really simple and easy, but it's decently fun. So you also most likely find the motos for the first time. Cool stuff. Fire Bubble Shinosaki. You know, I was debating putting these Shinosaki versions of levels at the bottom due to being one-for-one reskins of the B-Roll levels, but that felt kind of lame, so they'll just go side by side with the B-roll versions. Anyways, the only real difference here is that the volcano allows you to enter it and get to a sub-level instead of just burning you, so it gets to go a little bit higher. 163, Frosty Flowering Peak. This level's concept is cool with how it switches between snow and grass, but the level feels really empty. I think it's worse of the Cool Mountain-like levels. Visually it's okay, and I think the switching mechanic being relatively unique is cool, but another level does it much better. 162, Cabin Snow Slide, a simplified version of the Cool Mountain slide, though its star can be quite annoying to find. It's higher than Peach's slide due to the Cool Mountain one being more fun and challenging to slide down, and I think the snow particles in the final room look really good. 161, Snow Slider B-Roll, the game's very first level, sort of. Well, what most people probably play as their first level. Being the beta version of Cool Mountain, it's really simple, but visually nice. I think the size is very large for how few stars it has. The slide is also fun to go down, but it's not necessary, as it just takes you to the bottom. Not a bad level. Snow Slider Shinosaki. Literally the same level, but the slide warps were changed a bit. 159, Test Course. Another test level, but this one's quite a bit better than the rest. Firstly, the level is from the Mario Classified series, so it actually has some story relevance, as this level was made back when Mario 64 was going to be a lot more like the traditional 2D Mario games. That being the reason this level is so straightforward, and it's just a climb to a goalpost. Even though the platforming is simple, it's quite fun. Visually, this level looks like what a 3D 1-1 might be. 158, Wing Mario over the Floating Islands. This level is reminiscent of Wing Mario over the Rainbow from the original, but I think this level has some issues. Mostly with how slow the wing cat flying is, it makes it take really long to gather all 8 red coins. As well as the red coins themselves being really spread apart and sometimes hard to find. Though I love how this level looks visually, I just think the gameplay kinda sucks a little bit. 157, Checkerboard. Much higher than the fabricated version for actually making sense. I think the entrance to this level is really well hidden. This level used to play a much larger role in the older B33 versions, when many areas warped you here for a star due to all the star IDs being broken. Anyways, I really like how this level looks, and the kind of creepy music adds to it. 156, Scuttlebug Nest. This area contains the giant Scuttlebug boss. Now, even though it's just a Wiggler reskin, at least it makes a lot more sense visually, and it gives a red star too. This area is also very nice visually as well, compared to the Piranha Plant's hidden pillar, so it gets to go up a bit higher. 155, Inside the Sunken Ship. This level is like hardly a level, but it follows the guidelines so it counts. It's just a jump up a couple platforms, but I really like how the inside of the ship looks. Probably too high, but there's so many levels, I'll rank them for arbitrary reasons. 154, Tick-Tock Blocks. This level is very test level-like in nature, being a single star at the end of a simple obstacle course. The level's quite a bit longer, and the music and visuals make it stand out. It kinda feels like a Mario Sunshine secret level, which would fit with its music. 153, Sandstone Palace. This level's pretty simple, requiring the Vanish cap and for you to quickly fly behind the pyramid to get a star. The giant upside-down pyramid sort of reminds me of Mario Odyssey, though I feel like another star or two could have been added here, as a lot of this level's area feels like wasted space. 152, Curly's Fire Bubble. A very simple level containing 2 easy stars. Not really a bad level, but a bit too easy, especially the star on the right when you spawn. I really like how this level's painting looks though, it looks kinda cool. Along with it not looking too bad visually either, I like the large tower in it. 151, Chief Chili's Ring. Sticking with the bully theme, we have this level. I like how it's a reference to the Chief Chili level in Mario 64 where you unlock Wario. And this level is the only time the ice bullies appear, I'm pretty sure. The dark aesthetic of this level and the main level beforehand is really unique and looks really cool, so it makes the mini-boss stand out compared to it just being a normal bully. 150, Snow Mountain Fabricated. This level is similar to the other Snow Mountain levels, as the name suggests. Even though it's probably even simpler, the sheer size makes it quite unique, and honestly I think the slide not working properly at all is really funny. The complete lack of any life other than the mother penguin that's tucked away, combined with the sheer size, also gives it a really strange vibe too. 149, Chomp Caverns. I really like this level's concept. A cool hidden area behind the chain chomp wall, and it's hidden decently well. It's a simple platforming challenge where you must avoid a few chain chomps and some other enemies. The aesthetic fits and looks nice. Not much to say, just a fun sub-level. 148, Waterland Beta. The beta version of Dire Dire Docks, this level is simple but fun. Contains the treasure chest star and the Bowser sub from the original Dire Dire Docks too. For a beta level, I think it looks quite nice too. There's not much to say here. 147, Waterland Shinosaki. Same thing, but you're able to enter the Bowser sub, and the chests are laid out differently. Nothing else to say. 146, Unagi's Tunnel. A cute little sub area that can be found by entering what was previously the Eel's Tunnel. The music here is really peaceful. The addition of the eel in here being dead adds some personality and fits with the previous main level. The star is simple, but I like it, and this level visually too. Pretty solid. 145, Rocky Trek. Another tall mountain-like level, this level stands out a good amount due to the large presence of thwomps, along with a lot of the platforms being quite high to reach with a single jump. Really makes you feel like you're scaling a mountain. And the more platform-focused gameplay makes this level quite fun. 144, Tall Floating Fortress. Despite being a test level, this level doesn't really feel like one at all. Perhaps in universe, this test level was made further into Mario 64's development. Anyway, this level resembles Whomp's Fortress, but it's a lot more vertically focused as it's much larger. And this level looks pretty nice too. Not much else to say. 143, Haunted Mansion. The first Big Boo's Haunt-like level, sadly it's the worst. I think the level design is kind of annoying, especially the silver stars, due to them being so cramped at the bottom. You can sometimes lock yourself out of the star by grabbing 2 at once, as it will count them as 1. though the main star that requires you to climb the wall of the mansion is quite a fun challenge. I think the more open-ended nature for Igloo's haunt stage is unique, and I like how the gap between the two areas encourages using the triple jump spin.
142 Caldera Temple. This level is really cool visually, being a climb up a pretty cool looking temple. Unfortunately, it's quite short and easy, so it's over pretty quick.
141 Babam Tower. A very simple level where you just have to do some platforming up a large tower. I really like how nice this level looks. The little pond in the corner and just the vibe this level gives off looks cool. 140 Babam Cavern. This sublevel is actually a reference to an old Greenio video. This area is a large cavern with a simple design, just having you do a few jumps until the end. What stands out is what appears to be the yellow switch, a pretty major plot point in B33 and Mario Classified. But when approached, a star spawns and it just gets pressed down and a weird fake out happens. Simple level, but the weird yellow switch kinda makes it stand out. 139 Wiggler's Cave, a simple level where you need to grab the 5 silver stars. I really like how it looks, so it's not bad, though it's a bit too easy. 138 Melting Magma Mound, the first volcano-like level. This level has you scale the sides of a volcano until reaching the top. The camera can be quite finicky here, but the variety of enemies here makes it quite unique and challenging to climb. A solid level. 137 Mountain B-Roll, the beta version of Womp's Fortress, a simple but fun level. The star that's behind the breakable wall stands out for being quite hard to find. Otherwise, it's okay. 136 Mountain Shinosaki, exact same level, but you can find the owl. Whoa, so different. 135 Spiky Sandland. This level's like a small bite-sized version of Shifting Sandland. It only has a single star by gathering the 5 silver stars. This level's cute looking, so it gets points. 134 Irock's Tomb. I really like how this level looks, especially the entrance hallway section. I feel like it does a way better job than the regular lair in Mario 64. It doesn't go much higher due to the boss just being reused from the original. 133 Sky High Pathway. This level is a simple platforming challenge before you get to the wing cap. It's quite easy and simple, but fun. I really like this level's music and design. Pretty basic, but enjoyable. 132 Blarg's Lava Realm. This level is quite fun. I enjoy the star where you have to ride up the lava slide and avoid the Blargs. I also really enjoy like how dark this level is, visually that is. It looks really cool. The other Silver Star mission is a bit too easy though. 131 Snow Tower, the worst of the Star Road levels, because while the rest are relatively unique, this is just another cool mountain level, and it doesn't really stand apart from the other ones that well. Luckily there are a good amount of stars to grab here. The one where you have to ground pound the ice is kinda cool, but visually it's pretty much the exact same as the other cool mountains. 130 Inside Bowser's Sub. This level's definitely really cool visually, one of the most unique in that aspect, taking place inside the sub. But the main issue of this level is with the camera. The trek upwards to hit the switch is really annoying due to how clunky the camera is. If it wasn't for that, this level would probably be really high, but it's still pretty cool. 129 Blarg's Fiery Fortress. It's a pretty good level, requiring you to do some wall jumps and avoid a few fire bars and bullies to grab a star. This level's aesthetic is pretty unique, and I enjoy pure platforming levels a lot. For a sub-level, it's pretty good. 128 Jolly Roger Lagoon. A peaceful level where you swim around to gather 8 red coins. The really chill Jolly Roger Bay remix, along with how serene the visuals look, make it a level I enjoy. Only held back by the lackluster gameplay. The metal cap switch can also be found here during Act 1, so that's kinda cool, I guess. 127 Womp's Prison. This is a pretty cool sub-level. I like how the prison looks a lot. This also kinda contains a sub-level inside a sub-level, which is pretty unique. Good level, carried by its unique visuals. 126 Dream Tower. Along with the last few levels, this is another level that is also sort of carried by its visuals. The Bowser in the skybox is really unique and a cool visual for this, and it makes it stand out. This level is honestly just a better version of Babam Tower, since it has a similar layout, but just with an added Silver Star mission in the skybox I talked about. 125 Sunken Ghost Ship. I feel like this is honestly one of the much rarer levels in B33. I was unaware of its existence until going for 100%, as it requires you to raise the ship with the metal cap and then enter it. But anyways, I really like how this level looks. I think it does the inside of the ship idea way better than the other sunken ship level. I really like how the interior swings back and forth like the actual ship. Due to the star being really easy and not having much gameplay wise, it can't go much higher. 124 TikTok Slide. Slide levels are always fun. This one's probably the hardest, due to the presence of several heave-hos, motos, and amps being present on the slide. There's not much to talk about other than slide levels are fun. And this one gets points for being unique, as a lot of the other slides are kind of reused from base Mario 64. 123 Cool Mountain Beta. This might seem a bit low, but that's mostly due to the Cool Mountain levels only being okay for the most part. Being a beta level, it's by far the least similar to its base game counterpart. It's scaled up quite a lot, and that seems to be a common theme with these levels. The stars here are also pretty simple to get. and are similar to the ones in Snow Slider Beta. I like how foggy this level is too, it makes you feel like you're in a blizzard. 122, Shifted Sandland. Pretty basic level where you just gotta scale the pyramid. I like the large amount of enemy variety though, like the Angry Sun, Grasshoppers, Chuckias, etc. It makes the level feel quite alive. Though I think the star here is kinda stupid, where you could've just punched some random crate. It feels a bit lazy. I feel like it could have just been placed at the top of the pyramid or something. Otherwise, it's a pretty good level. 121, Endings. Probably a bit high, but for being the final level, it gets to go here. It's like a cooler version of checkerboards. Not much else to say other than you get your final star here. 120, Scorched Tar Land. Almost the exact same as Fire Bubble B-roll, but the lava is instead tar. Though the way that you find this level is actually really cool and unique. And the tar being different to the lava makes it stand out. It makes it look just way cooler as a level. It's also a bit better than Fire Bubble due to the addition of a red coin star too. 119, Dream Battlefield. A similar aesthetic to Dream Tower, this level ranks pretty close to it, but it's a bit higher due to being a bit more interesting, along with containing a little boss fight. The Wet Dry World skybox here looks cool, though less cool than the Bowser in the Sky skybox that was in Dream Tower. 118, Piranha Plant Igloo. A really unique level that mirrors the original Igloo from Mario 64. The addition of a star that requires you to kill the 5 giant piranhas makes it stand out a lot, especially with the added difficulty, due to the maze-like design. It also just looks really cool too. 117, Fish Tank. The first aquarium variation. This level has a unique spin on it, with only half of the aquarium being flooded, and the water being ice water instead, killing you much quicker. Sadly, that doesn't really add any difficulty due to the presence of the many regen hearts and coins. Though I love how this level looks along with the music. The added fog makes it feel really strange and dreamlike. You can also find a shark here, and it's funny. 116, Frosty Mountains. This level has you climb up a mountain to fight a giant ice moto. The boss is pretty easy, but the added bullies make it a bit tough. You can also find a strange little cabin here, sadly can't be entered. I always like levels where you can find little houses in them, makes them feel a lot more lived in. There'll also be a lot more of them, especially later on this list. 115, Lavish Lava Mountain. This is the level I was talking about when I was talking about Frosty Flowering Peak a while back. This level also has a switching mechanic, swapping between lava and grass theme, though I think this level does it a lot better, due to the mountain being much larger, and the swapping mechanic changing a lot more of the level. I think Cool Mountain just looks really cool when changed to lava. It's a great level. I'm already calling levels great, and I still have 114 of them left. Shows how fun a lot of them are. 114, Wet Dry World Beta. The first of many Wet Dry World-like levels, and it'll probably be the only one for a while. It's not bad at all, just the rest are a lot better. Most of the Wet Dry World levels have a theme of drowning, but this one is just a beta version of the original. The simplicity makes sense though, and it's the only one that doesn't really have any semblance of life. The stars here are quite simple, but does stand out a lot due to the weird warp to Dry Town you can find here. It's so random, along with the bomb found here too being kinda weird. 113, Goomboss Lair. One of the best bosses in B33. Goomboss is similar to the fight in 64DS, but changed due to the lack of Yoshi. Instead you have to kick the Goombas into him. The aiming can actually be quite difficult, but it's not too hard and pretty fun. The background also looks really cool. I love the tree stumps in the fog. 112, Womp's Fortress Beta. This level is probably the most similar to its base game counterpart visually, though the main difference is the interior section of the fortress and the little moat with giant Shy Guys for some reason. The stars are pretty basic though. The 8 red coins one is fun. Sadly, the visuals are kinda okay. They're very similar to the original. 111, Wingcap in the Rainbow Highway. This level is really simple, but riding the Koopa shell is just fun, and having a little rainbow coast for it is cool too. The little jumps at the end can be quite hard. Worse than the other Wingcap stage due to it not really utilizing the Wingcap at all, and being worse visually. Still quite a fun stage. 110, Battle Fort. Another level from DS, simple but really fun. I don't know, I just really like this DS level, or any level taken from any other Mario game. The 2 stars are easy but fun to get. Not much else to say. 109, King Womp's Battle Arena. Speaking of, we got this level, being a direct Galaxy reference, which is really cool. I like the addition of the black holes, though it makes no sense in universe due to Galaxy coming out way later than 64, but if you ignore that, it's cool. King Womp Battle is really easy, but this level is carried by the reference, and the upside down Womp's Fortress just looks really cool too. 108, Desert Maze. I love how visually unique this is from the other sand levels, being much more mountainous and using darker oranges compared to the bright yellows of Shifting Sandland. I like how the spawn sort of parallels Hazy Maze Cave too. The stars here are quite good as well. Great level. 107, Big Boo's Haunt Beta. A simplified version of Big Boo's Haunt. This level is actually the most alike to the base Big Boo's Haunt, probably. I really like these kind of levels though, so it goes quite high. The lower section under the cabin is also quite good and unique. 106, Big Boo's Haunt Vanilla. Okay, side tangent, this level's name actually makes no sense. It's the only level in the game to be tagged as vanilla, but it's like not vanilla. It's different from the base game Big Boo's. So why did they not just name this one Beta Big Boo's Haunt and remove the other one? It's so weird. This naming scheme is never used again. Anyways, the actual level is sort of just an upgraded version of the last one with more detail. I like how you're required to gather the 5 keys in the bookshelf star instead of cheesing it like you do in the original. 105, Secret of the Plexus. This is actually one of the harder levels in the game, mostly at the start. The initial 4 jumps across the fast platforms are really hard and require good uses of log jumps. Afterwards though, it's quite easy. I like the sunshine reference a lot, and the name is also quite funny. Yeah, Secret of the Plexus, there sure are a lot of those in this game, huh? I wish the background was a bit better and more like the ones in Sunshine instead of being a simple dark blue skybox. 104, Frosty Highlands. This is one of the most memorable Cool Mountain-like levels, mostly because it has you scale up the mountain instead of down. It also has a little cabin too. Now that I think about it, it's a lot like Frosty Mountains. Even the names are similar. This level's a bit better due to the presence of more stars and even a green star. And the trek up is a bit more challenging, even with the lack of a mini-boss. 103, Snow Ravine. I like this level's concept and design. It's quite unique. This is another level where the camera can make it kind of annoying. Also, the star you have to shoot the cannon to the ice block is very finicky, as where you actually have to shoot is weird. But the design alone makes it go quite high. It's really unique. 102, Minion Prison. This level's really weird, but also unique. Get here after beating Bowser in the Fire Sea, and it contains 5 tiny Goombas that each hold a secret. These guys have no dialogue as well. You find a weird empty gray room as well. This level's like really weird and seems to have no place of origin. But the star is not super fun to get, so it doesn't go much higher. And the design is pretty basic. It's basically just this high because how fucking weird it is. 101, Tall Mountain. This level's name's just kind of funny. The level itself is quite good. I like how you can kind of go inside the mountain too instead of just running around it. Makes it stand out. And the stars here are solid enough. Good level. On to the top 100, we have Tower of the Wingcap Beta. I think this is the superior wingcap level due to it actually using the wingcap to get the star. I like how there's also a bit of a challenge hitting the wingcap switch too. Good, but the worst of the cap levels, as the others stand out a lot more. 99, Ultramarine Stronghold. This level's pretty basic, but I like how the sections look. The purple and red walls make it stand out. It's just a bit of a swimming until you do a few wall jumps, but I like the vibe it gives off. 98, Sandy Skyloft. This level honestly reminds me of a Galaxy level. I really like how it looks, and the 2 stars are quite fun to get. I think this level also originates from an old liminal space post too. One of the better desert levels. 97, Flower Fields. This level's actually quite unique, being sort of based on a Mario 3D World level, mostly with the clear pipe that can be found, along with the final stair section being reminiscent of the end to a 3D World level with the stairs. I always forget about this level when playing, but it's quite good and unique. I like the skybox a lot as well. 96, Ice Cold Warzone. I like what this level represents story-wise, as it takes place during the Bob-omb War saga. This level shows the Bob-ombs at total war with enemies everywhere and the battlefield being covered in snow. The level's not super special, just being a climb up the mountain, but the constant water bubbles and enemies everywhere can make it quite difficult. 95, Click Clock Climb. A challenging climb up an altered version of Tick-Tock Clock. This level has a really weird and cool unique mechanic where you can randomly be upwarped in the level. This is a reference to the supposed cosmic rays that made this happen in a real Mario 64 speedrun. This is a really cool and unique feature to add into this level. Unfortunately, it's not visually that impressive, so it doesn't really stand out otherwise. 94, Magic Mushroom Cave. Quite unique visually. I like the large rainbow mushroom that takes the centerpiece, along with the many multicolored ones around it. Traversing this area can be quite annoying though. It only contains 1 star. But I like how it looks, so it's pretty cool. 93, Fire Bubble Fabricated. I don't know why, but I really like how this level's laid out for some reason. Maybe it's just with how open it is along with the dark sky, but I like it a lot. It's similar to the normal fire bubble, but the star's much further out, requiring some precise platforming. I do think they could have added another star or 2 to this level, honestly. There was enough space for it, but I still like it anyway. 92, Bob-omb Battlefield Beta. Similar to base Bob-omb Battlefield, this level's solid enough. The Wet Dry World skybox looks cool, along with a few added warps to other levels. I like it about as much as I like Bob-omb Battlefield in the base game, so about in the middle of the list. 91, Snowman's Frozen Desert. I think this level's pretty good, though I think Snowman's Land mixed with Shifting Sandland is done better in another level. The star where you have to ride the Koopa Shell along the pillars is cool. Fortunately, there's no actual giant snowman in this level, well, not one that has a face. I think the only problem with this level is that it doesn't stand out that much. Just a solid Mario 64 level. 90, Water Cube, another Wet Dry World level, and one of the most recent additions. I think this one has a similar issues to the last I talked about, where it's not very town-like. There are structures that kinda look like buildings, but not to the degree of other levels. I guess I still like the layout though. 89, Goomboss Battle. This level's a direct recreation of the same level from Mario 64 DS. The visuals have been changed a bit, with the purple fog being changed to a bluer color. I love this level's aesthetic in the original, and I love it here. I like how desolate and foggy this area looks. I think the stars could be a bit better and more fun to collect, but otherwise it's a good level. 88, Vanish Cap Under the Moat. This level's quite interesting design-wise, pretty much just an amped up version of the Vanish Cap stage from Mario 64. I love how giant the room is, and doing this level the normal way can make it quite hard. Though the main issue is this level can be entirely cheesed with one triple jump. You can skip the entire level. Otherwise I like it. 87, Fly Guy Hill. This is one of the more recent levels that was also added in 1.0. I think it's alright. I like the lighthouse that you can find here that contains a star and the hilly atmosphere, but I think it's kind of annoying to traverse. Otherwise it's a solid level. 86, Ultra Battle Fort. This level's pretty fun to navigate, but not crazy interesting. I enjoy the level design and how vertical it is, though it doesn't really feel that special like most other Star Road levels. The path to the Piranha Plant boss is quite unique though. 85, Firefield. All the way in the top 100 we have another test level. At least I'd count it as one. I like this level a lot, mostly with its layout. It's really unique and fun to navigate, especially the red coin star. Since the other star is basically right where you spawn. I don't know, this level's just really cool, so I guess you go up here. 84, Snowman Land Beta. This level is kind of interesting. It's sort of like a sub-area mixed with a normal level, similar to Melting Magma Mound, since you can enter it via a pipe in another level and its own painting. Anyways, I like this level a good bit, more than the level you enter it from. The silver stars are fun to collect, and the simple rectangular layout is sort of appealing to me. I like the cool little brick structure along the walls. Wonder what it's meant to be. 83, Rainbow Ride Beta. This level's not really similar to Rainbow Ride, and that's for the better. It's kind of just a linear platforming challenge to the star in the big house. But I don't know, the combination of this level's really good music and just the sky vibe and fun platforming make me really enjoy it despite how simple it is. Sky levels are usually quite good in this game. 82, Salty Salty Shore. A very peaceful level. I love the vibe and the darker colors in this one. The level's main objective is to gather the 8 red coins inside little bubbles that are unique to this level. The actual gameplay can be a bit boring, so it doesn't go that much higher, but the vibes alone on this one are quite good. 81, River Mountain. I like this level, but it really gets outclassed by another one of its type. That's basically the exact same, but better. I like the sort of orangish tint that this level has and the overall level design itself, but I always kind of forget about it due to its better version later on. 80, Grassy Highlands. Speaking of orange tint, this level takes that to the next level. This level has a bright orange sky along with the previously mentioned orange tint, making it stand out a lot. I really like how large and expansive this level is. It feels like an altered Bob-omb battlefield in a way. You can also find a green star here too. Level looks great and feels complete, but not really memorable enough to be super high up. 79, Hazy Maze Cave Beta. A pretty good level. I like how the stars are sort of split between the two main paths. I think this level also gets sort of overshadowed by a better version, but I still like it anyway. I like how the red coin star also requires you to use both paths as well. It doesn't really stand out much visually though. 78, Eternal Fort Beta. One of the final-ish levels, and it's definitely the worst. Sort of just being a half-baked version of the actual Eternal Fort level. Which makes sense as this is not the actual final level, just the beta. This level's sort of just a few jumps until the Bowser fight, which is pretty interesting, starting out on a small platform until he jumps onto the upper one. The visuals look great, and the music is a banger too, though this level's more of a glorified battle arena than an actual level, but it's still pretty good. 77, Inside the Pyramid. This level's basically just a cooler version of the pyramid level from the original Mario 64. I like the darker lighting a lot, and I think it fits better. Just how much bigger the pyramid feels. Platforming is also still quite fun. 76, Black Rock Mountain. This level's pretty cool visually. It sort of reminds me of Frosty Highlands in a way, where you start at the bottom and have to climb up. Though this level's much more visually distinct than it, and there are several ways to climb up the mountain too. Not too much to say here, it's just a really cool level. 75, Fire Bubble 2. Probably the most unique lava level, having it entirely be on a Koopa shell. I like how they're branching paths and even a dead end. This level reminds me of that frozen ice level from Frisbee Forever in its layout. I know I sound insane, but like it actually is what I think of. Does anyone know what that game is? It's a peak. It's an awesome game. 74, Aquarium Limbo. This level starts out seemingly the same as the normal aquarium, until you find one of the windows being changed to a giant tunnel housing the other 4 red coins of this stage. The music combined with the level layout and red hue make this level really cool. It's kind of boring to swim through, unfortunately, but I really like its design. 73, Creepy Cove. I love the blue tin that covers this entire level, and just how blue it is. It makes it really feel strange and dreamlike. Combined with the amazing Dry Town music and dead eel you can find, it really feels like a sadder version of Jolly Roger Bay. Though this level shares a lot of similarities to another level later on, but it's still great, so it goes up high. 72, Womp's Fortress.z64. One of the creepier levels, and it's one that contains a red star. The level starts out as a dark version of Mountain B-Roll until you reach the top, where it turns into an even darker version of Womp's Fortress. This level is really unique, being a race to the top of the fortress where you can gather your star. This level can be quite unsettling, but it's not super fun gameplay-wise. 71, Vanish Cap within the Plexus. The other possible Vanish Cap stage, I like this one a decent bit more. I really like how peaceful the music is, and this level actually utilizes the Vanish Cap much better. Its level design is honestly really strange, but unique and cool. I like the little mini garden area inside one of the cages, and the platforming to one of the other stars is also fun. Another great level. 70, Peach's Cell. Kind of stretching the definition of a level, but due to it having a star and being accessible through warps that usually lead to levels, I'll count it. This level's atmosphere is amazing, starting with a long walk through a dark hallway filled with Bowser paintings until meeting Peach. Then she disappears, and the level quickly forces you to jump between beams of light. The setting, along with the creepy music, just makes this level feel really cool. Sadly, the gameplay is kinda boring, and the level design is mostly just a straight walk forward, but it's really memorable. 69, Goomba Hills. This is just a pretty cute and simple level, a small series of hills that contain a few stars. I think the level's weirdly big for how empty it is, but it's really chill and peaceful. It kinda reminds me of a level I saw in a dream once. I think a few more set pieces would have made this level a lot more memorable. 68, Dark Downtown. It's quite an interesting level. It seems to be sort of a hiding place for the Bob-ombs before the Bob-omb War. It's one of the many levels that also have you flood it, and one of the Bob-ombs even suggests it. This level is quite good, and I like the aesthetic a good amount, though the stars are kinda boring to get. Otherwise, it's a great level. 67, Snowman's Darkness. I love this level's visuals, especially when you first spawn in and look up, and you're faced with a giant snowman looking down upon you. The dark visuals make this level really cool and stand out a lot, and the star for climbing up the snowman is really fun too. 66, Inside the Summit. Having the inside of a bomb battlefield's mountain be its own level is a really cool concept. There's quite a few stars here, along with a relatively major NPC being found here too, Prince Bob-omb. Another level mostly carried by its visuals, but the climb up the mountain is also pretty fun. 65, Toxic Ruins. I love how visually distinct this level is, with the purple theming and poison. It really makes this level stand out. It also has a really funny painting. I think the stars are not super interesting to get, and the red coin one mainly can be kind of annoying, but it's still really good and stands out a lot. 64, Chroma Tundra Beta. This level is one that's actually taken from Mario Classified, and it's pretty cool. It's a clone of Shifting Sandland, but in snow, and the pyramid being a giant tower instead. Though it does have a warp, I'm not counting it as its own sub-level since it doesn't have a star, and just another warp taking you to the top of the level. I think for how large this level is, there should have been another star in the snow section, but this level's great anyways. 63, Blazing Bully Base, the best Lethal Lava Land level. I love the sheer size of everything here, especially the volcano. There are quite a few stars here. I like the one at the start that acts like bait until switching to the really cool dark blue section of this level. I love this color scheme a lot. I just wish this section had another star or two to equal the star count in the normal lava section. A really cool level though. 62, Womp's Kingdom, the best Womp's Fortress level, and by far the one packed with the most content. It really feels like a reimagining of Womp's Fortress, with a lot of mini fortresses and stuff lining the edges. I like the little platform that references Mario Galaxy 2 as well. Not much to say, it's just the best and most lively Womp's Fortress level. 61, Sombrero Land, the last beta level, and this one's so high because it's just really funny. It's a weird canyon with nothing but bombs and some trees, and you can find an NPC named Sombrero Man who just spouts off beta dialogue and gives you a star. This level's actually just some shit you'd find in a fever dream. 60, Carry Boy Farmland, an interesting level with unique music and a fun design. This level's pretty simple, but I like the unique mole NPC that's found here. Nothing really wrong with this level, it's just all around solid. 59, Piranha Plant Garden. I like this level's giant gold piranha plant statue a lot, it looks really cool. And the design itself is also really fun. The pink sky is quite unique and makes the level stand out too. It's another grassy hill-like level, but the piranha plant iconography allows it to be unique. Kinda reminds me of Pleasant Falls. 58, Big Boo's Fortress, a fun ghost house level with pretty funky music. I I like a few of the Ghost House levels a lot with their key gimmick, and it's done well here, having to collect them all to traverse the fortress, ending with a big boo fight. I think I like the level a lot because there aren't that many of them compared to the many grass and snow levels in the game. It's great stuff. 54, Big Blue Skylands. A very simple wing cap level, but I like it a lot. The many castle spires and big house you can find are just cool set pieces. I especially like the star that's on the spires, along with some red coins. I think it's the best wing cap focus stage in the game. 56, Wiggler's Fortress. I love the vibe of this level a lot, and how it's split into two sections, being the fortress part and the more foresty part down below. I think the floor of fog covering the bottom looks really nice too. This level has an amazing track playing as well, and the Wiggler boss fight is a fun one to fight, even if it can be a bit weird. 55, Lethal Cavern. The better of the two metal cap stages, this is one that's based off Mario Classified as well. It is much different from the one in Mario 64, using the cool looking blue lava from earlier. I think it uses the metal cap quite well for one of the stars. I just love how this level looks, along with the other path you can find here being interesting too. 54, Rusty Swampland, a very unique level in theming, taking place in a swamp with several platforms and tree trunks to navigate. This level's pretty cool and unique visually, but I find it to be kind of annoying to actually navigate. Falling down once is usually an instant death due to the swamp water at the bottom, but careful use of the triple jump spin makes it not too bad. I just really like how this level looks, so it's pretty high up. 53, Babam Grassy Field. This level is just really nice looking and fun. I like the giant tree you can find here that has a star, along with the other set pieces like the mountain itself and the small little river that goes along the level. It's like a peaceful version of Babam Battlefield. And I just think how the level's laid out is really neat. I like the star where you have to climb the 5 regular trees scattered across the level too. 52, Sunken Castle. A really cool level. I love how everything looks here, like the cool stained glass windows and chains that can be found underwater. There's only one star here requiring use of the Vanish cap, but it's really good. I think another star and a bigger layout could have easily made this level like top 30. 51, Randomized Realm. Probably the most unique level in the game, just being a ton of the game's assets thrown together to make a level. You mainly can traverse this level using the wing cap, and the 2 stars here are quite fun. I really like the Babam you can find on top of one of the towers that just crashes your game. This area seems to be the AI kinda losing its mind in a way, with all the random stuff thrown around. I think the level can be quite slow due to having use of the wing cap to get around everywhere, but it's pretty good otherwise. On to the top 50 we have No Man's Land. This level really stands out due to the creepy snowman that's found here. It's an altered version of the original, but with a large smile added on. Makes this level feel kinda unsettling in a way, especially since it looks down upon you the entire level. This is another snow level that also contains a small little cabin that can't be entered. Wonder who lived here. Anyway, there are a few stars here and a little mini-boss too. The weird snowman is what really makes it stand out though. 49, Chomp's Cloudy Isles. Firstly, this level's painting is just really funny. I like the goofy looking chain chomp. The actual level is just really nice looking. It's hard to describe, but I always like these sort of peaceful grassland levels. Make me feel really at ease. Anyways, this level's just quite fun. I like the little rainbow platforms that you run across, and the 8 red coin stars is really fun to get. This level feels like it could have been a rainbow ride replacement, if it was a lot larger. I like the mix of sky and grass as a level idea too. It's really great. 48, Corrupted Challenge. The last Star Road level, and this is probably one of the most unique levels in the game. It takes on the form of polygonal chaos, and a 1-up chases you throughout the entirety of the level that kills you if it touches you. This level is actually quite difficult, but a really fun challenge. I think the dark design mixed with the weird geometry can make it hard to tell where you're supposed to go sometimes, but I still think this level is really cool. 47, Big Boo's Haunted Forest. This might be one of the weirdest B33 levels. You can enter it from 2 different paintings that will each spawn you in a different section. Along with this might be one of the largest levels too. It's a mix of Peach's Slide and the interior of Big Boo's Haunt section, along with the actual forest. There's a lot of stuff in this level, but it feels kind of unfinished, since you can kind of just see a lot of the other parts of the level by looking up. It's kind of weird. I like the massive gold Bowser statue you can find here, and the visuals are pretty cool looking. I like the blue carpet mixed with the red fog a lot. It's just a nice color scheme. It's quite an interesting level, I guess. 46, Jolly Roger Bay Beta. One of the best beta levels, and it actually feels like a full-fledged level. There's a lot of content here, and a lot of sub-levels too. Some that I already mentioned. This level's really similar to Creepy Cove, but better, and I think the music is worse. But I like how this level looks. The deep blues and fog that cover the entire level look really cool. I especially love the cavern section too, with how open and empty it feels. The ghost ship they can find here is also really awesome. It's a great level. 45, Cave City. I frequently forget about this level, even though it's really unique. It's like a mix of Hazy Maze Cave and the city elements of Wet Dry World. I like the multiple sections of this level, like the actual city, the Silver Star Maze you can find below, The little platforming section. I think it's visually good too, but not super special. I just really enjoy the stars here. 44, Waterland Fabricated. Way above the other fabricated levels, just because I love how this one looks so much. At first it just looks like the normal Waterland until you realize everything's just missing. The quiet music, mixed with just how empty this level is, makes it feel so weird. The sub being replaced with a ghost ship too is really cool. So it just really feels like a level I would dream up. The only thing holding this back is its 1 star is really easy to get and not that interesting. 43, Hazy Memory Cave. I'm not usually a big fan of Hazy Maze Cave levels, but this one stands out for me. It honestly feels more like a beta Hazy Maze Cave than the actual beta Hazy Maze Cave level is. So it's really large and expansive. Love the rolling rocks section and how massive it is, along with the level's music. The game kind of fits as well. It feels like if you try to recreate Hazy Maze Cave from memory. A really great level. 42, Snow Tunnels. This level's up here for my favorite visually in the entire game. This level has no music, just a dark series of snow tunnels with wind and snow particles covering your screen. This level just looks so creepy. 2 of the 3 tunnels lead nowhere, while the 3rd is eerily long and makes you feel on edge the entire time. This level's carried so hard by its design and visuals. I love it so much. I can't have it go much higher due to the actual gameplay being kinda weak. 41, Bountiful Beach. I can't really explain why this level's so high. It's super simple and basic with just 2 stars, but it's like such a vibe. This level feels so peaceful to be in. I love the design and colors used. Like I just want to be in this level and chill out on this beach. There's not much to actually talk about here, it's just memorable and cool. 40, Tiny Huge Island Beta. I really like this beta level a lot, mostly because it's a really cool gimmick. There being 3 different level sizes opposed to the normal 2. And there are stars split between all 3. It kind of makes this a 3-in-1 package. I like the night sky here opposed to the normal blue sky of Tiny Huge Island. This is another level that also has multiple warps that send you here. Not much to say other than it's just a fun level with a cool gimmick. 39, Babam Battlefield.z64. I like this level a good amount more than Womp's Fortress.z64. This level's not original and originates from a YouTube video. The level's basically just a much darker version of Babam Battlefield with edited music to make it sound creepier. Now in the original video where this level comes from, there's a weird entity here, but in B33 it's just to climb up to the top where you can find a star, and I think I like it better this way. It's so dark here you can hardly see in front of you, and it really adds suspense. A simple level with a great atmosphere. 38, Cold Cold Crevice. This level is one of the most popular fake Mario 64 levels. It's a dark snowy cave filled with snowmen and amps. The music here is really good, and the platforming is quite challenging. I love the snowy cave look too. It's quite different compared to the normal cavernous levels in-game. It's a great one. 37, Cave Dungeon. This level's actually remade from the unabandoned version, and it's a huge improvement, no longer being a stupid hard Kaizo level. Now it's much more normal. Firstly, again, I love the vibe. It looks a lot different from the other cave levels, containing a purple hue that covers the level, along with chains and ladders that add to the more dungeony vibe. I think it's still quite annoying to navigate at times, but it's a great level otherwise. 36, Koopa Hideout, a cool level where a bunch of Koopas are in hiding. I like this area and how it relates to the Koopa Society storyline in-game, and it's a funny Simple Flips reference. I like the idea of a little cave society. The houses and waterfall are quite cool. You can even find Koopa the Quick here too. The dark blue color scheme just looks really nice as well. 35, Goomba Town. Another level inhabited by a Mario species, but this time it's Goombas. It's just a really cute little level. I love all the little small houses that make the level look like a little town square. The stars here are easy but fun. So it just looks like it would be a chill place to live in if you're a Goomba. Well, unless Mario shows up, then it probably kind of sucks to live in. 34, Eel Graveyard, a really desolate and kind of sad level. This level contains various dead eels that cover the stage, some floating, and one that even has a fake star on its back. Some other oddities include floating sharks and the really strange glitching that occurs here. I think the music is what sells this level. It really makes this level feel like a graveyard, mourning the eels that, well, try to kill you multiple times. Such a strange level, but it makes it super memorable. Number 33, Babam River. A great level both visually and gameplay-wise. I mentioned earlier that River Mountain is kind of just a worse version of this one. I like how this one's designed and laid out a lot more, and how it connects into this level's storyline, being Babam Battlefield before the war, being based on what Babam Battlefield was actually going to look like in real life. And this is the second best of the Babam time loop levels. 32, Sunshine Isles. I don't know why I put this level up so high. It's super basic when it comes to layout and the star, so what gives? I say it's to do with how this level looks. It looks so much cooler with the Super Mario 64 aesthetic compared to the DS one. The water that endlessly extends into the background, you feel like you're on a deserted little island, but in a good way. The bright blues and greens make this level feel so peaceful, like somewhere I'd want to be. Sort of like Bountiful Beach, but even better. The music here also just adds to this feeling. It's an amazing level. 31, Dry Downtown. I'd say this is another rare-ish level. It's alone in a lobby that at least I would never really find too often. I really like how this level's designed, being super vertical, requiring good uses of the wall jump. This level sort of feels like playing the inside of a wet dry world skybox in a way, with the buildings stacked on top of each other and such. All the stars are fun to get here, requiring careful use of the water switches to get the stars using the Vanish cap. The wet dry world aesthetic is also just a really nice one too. 30, Dire Bubble, the level with the second most amount of stars in the game. This level's much more tropical take on Lethal Lava Land, instead of being a water level. The added access of actually being able to go under the level makes it much more interesting. There are a lot of missions here, like defeating all the Chuckies to gathering the silver stars, but the standout one here has to be where you save a baby Goomba from drowning to get a star. Well, until he gives it to you, where you can just proceed to drown him again. Feel good, Mario? Anyway, a cool idea and execution for a level. 29, Blazing Bullet Bill Factory. Quite the interesting level. As soon as you spawn in, you'll be greeted with a warning, where the lava will immediately start to rise as you must climb the level to escape. The platforming and rising lava make this level really intense, especially with the relatively high difficulty. You can find some kind employees here, even give you a star. How nice of them. Anyway, a really fun level with great design. 28, Cozy Woods. Another simple level that's carried by its aesthetic. This level is a peaceful grassy field that's covered head to toe in fog, and a single cabin with a bomb. The way this level looks is just so dreamlike. I don't know, I love it a lot. There's only 8 red coin star here, but the bomb NPC here hints at something more being hidden. This level really is cozy, as the name suggests. Like, I just want to be here, man. 27, Drip Drop Depths. This level stands out a lot with the main entrance. When you first enter, you'll exit a pipe into this level. It's weird because this area has all the elements of a level, except it actually is a two-way warp back to the castle like most normal areas would, but I think it still counts as a level due to sharing the similarities as one. Anyway, the area you spawn in looks really similar to Illusionary Dark Core, an area where the AI can be found. No music plays at all until you exit the maze and find a little pond, where a peaceful version of the Dire Dire Docks theme will play. Here you can gather this level's stars, with one inside the cage that has a little mini jump scare. What's even stranger is, after all this, you can find a glitched out blooper that floats through the wall. This level is just so weird and desolate, but it's really cool. I love this one. 26, Midnight Meadows. I love how this level looks. It's really cool and quite weird. A dark grassy landscape filled with weird multicolored Tetris looking bricks. This level really has the same vibe as Cozy Woods. I just like how it looks a bit better, and the stars here are more fun. The bomb that you can find here just shit talks you is kind of funny too. There's not much to say, as what I like about this level I've already described earlier. This is an amazing one. 25, Ghost House. By far the best Big Boo's Haunt level. This one's design's really fun. I love when you first enter and see the strange eye float across the room. This level has you traverse a labyrinth of rooms while collecting keys like the other Ghost House levels. This one has a lot of elements that stick out, like the eyes that quickly look around and insta-kill you, and the cool hidden hallways under the carpets. It feels like a maze in a way. Combined with the funky music makes this one really stand out. 24, Pleasant Falls. Just a very pleasant level overall. This level is really fun to play. It's one of the game's oldest levels too. I like the amount of enemies that you can find here. It makes this level feel really lived in. The giant waterfall is a great touch too. The music here is also just a nice remix of the 1-1 theme from Mario Bros. Everything about this level is just memorable, including the weird corrupted version you can find too. I think being such an old and iconic level helps it stand out. 23, Treetop Ride. I never realized how much I enjoyed this level both visually and gameplay wise until I did my 460 star run. This level feels a lot more like a beta Rainbow Ride than the actual level does. Starting off with a fun treetop ride segment, oh whoa, like the level. That might be a Galaxy reference. To a fun level reminiscent of Rainbow Ride with all the split paths and such. I love the gigantic tree trunk you can find and see in the distance too. Combined with the fog makes it look really menacing and cool. I love platforming levels, and this one combines it with a more typical level. 22, The City. A cool level taken almost directly from Gamma 64, but with some fun twists. Firstly, this level just looks great. It's a really unique city level compared to the others, being way more modern. The other city levels usually have a much more suburban or ancient style to them. The stars here require you to, well, piss off a few bomb NPCs. Kinda is funny because in Gamma 64 you get stars for helping them. I guess Mario's just a dickhead in B33 instead. One of the bombs just kinda dies in front of you and gives you a star. What a nice guy. Makes this level stand out, that's for sure. It's really good. And yeah, you can flood this one too. 21, Misty Beach. Good old Jort's World, Beach World. This level might have the most dreamy aesthetic in the game. It's just a desolate beach with a single house and weirdly dark fog. There's an entire half section of this level that's nothing but empty grassy field. This level looks like something I'd seen in those old liminal space Mario 64 videos, and that's a compliment. Like, this level just looks so cool. The stars here are unique too. I like the one that requires the Vanish and Metal Cap, where you have to enter the little house. Kinda reminds me of that star from the original 64. It's a sick level. 20, Mips Forest. Just a creepy ass level, nothing much to say. Source is one of the creepiest tracks in B33, along with just looking off. It's incredibly dark here, so you can barely see in front of you. You really only find Mips here, it tells you to leave and gives you a star. This level's just really weird. It doesn't help that the area this connects to is even weirder. One of the best levels added in 1.0. 19, Yoshi's Beach. Another beach level. Maybe I just really like beach levels. This is the second best star road level, and I think that's just because how much content there is. The Yoshi Egg collectibles are unique, even though they are just retextured secrets. I like the little town area, the big mountain, everything. Why can't I go in the town houses? It's not fair. This level is just like a vibe. I'd live here. As long as I can use the wing cap and get around, like, I'd set up camp here. 18, Toad Catacombs. This level's kind of muddying the waters between level and castle area, but it feels like a level. Maybe because you sort of enter it via weird painting. This level's theme is entirely unique, being a weird toad cemetery. At least it seems like a cemetery with all the coffins. Stepping on 5 of them gives you a red star, too. The end of the hall with the giant toad statue looming over the coffins is a great shot. What would happen to all these toads that require them to make an entire cemetery hidden away? 17, Wet Dry Moat. For being such a hidden level, an entire lobby that's really well hidden. This level slaps. This level's so massive and it just looks really cool. It's hard to describe why I like it so much. It's a bit more random assets than ancient ruined civilization on the Wet Dry World scale. But there's still some semblance of something here, like the little mini Wet Dry World town structure you can find, and several structures with doors that look like they could have been lived in. Honestly, all these Wet Dry World levels just feel really connected. They all feel like different parts of one civilization. It's a really good level. One that actually uses the raising and lowering water mechanic to the most when it comes to gameplay too. 16, SGI Indie. Such a weird ass level, but one that for sure stands out. This level stands out like the most due to its difficulty. Probably the hardest level in the game. Nothing like old cave dungeon, but still quite difficult. This level's strange layout is what makes it really cool, since it's laid out like the hardware of an actual real-life SGI Indie, making the design quite nonsensical. The black and white aesthetic's really cool. It's just a really strange stage to say the least, but it's pretty awesome. 14, Eternal Fort, the final level in game and miles better than the beta version, due to this one being an actual level. There's a good amount of tricky platforming and fire to avoid, the whole Bowser package. The actual Bowser fight is the best part though, due to being one of the only ones with actual difficulty. That has to do with the several bullet bill cannons and fire spitters that cover the arena, making grabbing Bowser really difficult. This level also just looks really cool. An amazing final level. 13, Jolly Roger Docks, the best Jolly Roger level. I love how it combines both of these areas into one level. There are a lot of elements that make this level fun, like the one puzzle that requires you to look at the map to find the secrets. Although half the level is just kind of hidden away under the little hill underwater. This level just always looks sick too. This one's really good. 12, Grim Green Forest. This level's awesome. It has one of the best tracks in the game, easily top 5 at least. It makes this level stand out so much. The design here is fun, I like the forest vibe with the lake underneath. There are only 2 stars here that are kinda simple, but I don't know, this level's just really well designed. The music's just so good and it fits with it a lot. Here we go, top 10. Babam Village. This level's so good. It takes what I liked about Goomba Village a while back and adds so much to it. Firstly, I love the level design, a massive mountainside village that looks quite friendly until you actually talk to the NPCs. This level takes place sort of at the end of one of the game's little mini storylines, where the various Babams whose cities you flooded have taken refuge. They tell you to kindly fuck off, but you're Mario, so you won't listen. Anyway, this level's 2 stars are great. The climb up to the mountain is really awesome. I like how the 5 secret stars you grab are quite literally stealing the star power from their houses. Dead Village is also a sick area you get sent to after, but it doesn't really count as a level, so it's not on the list. Almost everything here is perfect. I just like some levels even better. 9, Flooded Downtown, a really cool concept for a level, being the aftermath of a previous level. This area is the level Dry Town after you flood it. All the homes here are destroyed and the level's sky is dark blue. The main thing you can find here is a lone little Goomba by one of the stars who tells you off for flooding this town. Having a separate level that's like a direct sequel to a previous one is just a really cool concept. I wish this concept was done again. 8, Chroma Tundra. This is easily my most biased pick on this entire ranking. Most people probably don't even think much of this level, but this one's entirely based on my first playthrough. I don't know why, I just remember it so well. Bias aside, I love this level's music a lot. It's one of my favorite tracks. It's so joyful. Very different to what Chroma Tundra is actually meant to be like. This level's just huge. The mountain you have to climb being absolutely massive. There's really nothing super special here. It just kind of brings back memories of my first magical playthrough of this game. 7. Wet Dry Paradise. Now this level is the complete opposite in tone when it comes to the wet dry levels. Instead of being desolate and negative, this level has a much more positive aura. You're in a peaceful little valley where instead of flooding the town, you destroy the crystals that you would use to flood it. And all the NPCs here are kind and welcome you to their paradise. The stars here are fun, utilizing the wing cap a lot. This level even has a much more upbeat remix of Dry Town's theme. This is such a unique level. 6. Wet or Dry. This level is taken from Dream 64, and is what appears to be the town from Wet Dry World before the flood. The best part, you can actually go inside all the houses. Now the bombs here actually talk to you, unlike in Dream 64, and you can still flood it. The level design is really cool, mainly stuff like the entrance and the entire sewer system under the city. The stars here are really creative and utilizing teleporting with the metal cap and such. I love all the little cool things you can find inside the houses too. The best 1.0 level. 5. Limitless Lighthouse. This level's sick, being a completely flooded version of a bomb battlefield. You spawn at the bottom where you can find the Chain Chomp dead. The water here also hurts you. This level's design is fantastic, the dark blue sky casting the level in shadow, and the final climb up to said lighthouse you can gather a star. The best part is the music. This is my favorite track in all of B33, and it fits this level perfectly. This level's so mysterious and how it fits within the previous level's story, and that's what makes it so cool. This feels like a bomb battlefield many years in the future where all life is gone. It's so cool. 4. Tall Tall Treetops. Another level from Classified. This one's so good too. This level's absolutely beautiful. I love how you're inside of a giant tree. It feels like something from Galaxy. The Mario RPG music here gives this level such a positive vibe. Some of them might just have the most fun stars to collect in the game for me. They're relatively simple, but they're just fun. The entire level is just super fun in general. I don't know why. The design mixed with the music just makes it almost perfect for me. 3. Downtown City. This level's so cool. Firstly, this has one of the best aesthetics in the game. The yellow city and bright red sky and distant fog make this level look so cool. The music here is amazing too. Once you reach the top, this level entirely changes to a dark version. Talking to a Babam has them talk about the monsters in red and green destroying an entire civilization, obviously being you. Then across the map lies a single star where you must swim as you witness what you have done. Absolutely fantastic. 2. Moto's Factory. The most impressively made level in all of B33 with a whopping 11 stars, being the most by almost double. What can I say other than this looks like a level from a modern hack. It's the biggest and most detailed level by far, with so many places to explore and things to discover. A mini-boss, an entire secret horror event, it's awesome. And a lot of people's number 1, I think, but not for me. I think 1 barely edges it out. For my number 1, the best level in B33 is Dry Town. I think this level is the definition of B33. Everything it does and encompasses. Firstly, the star. You spawn in a massive corridor where you slowly come across a huge town, where the NPCs welcome you. I love how this town looks, mixing the architecture of Wet Dry World, a bit of Ancient City, and even some Rainbow Ride. The song here is my second favorite. It's an amazing remix of the Dire Dire Docks theme, and fits this level's vibe perfectly. Once you reach the top of this level, you'll quickly realize what you've done, flooding the entire town. For most players, this is the very first level where you'll see this, and kicks off the entire plotline going forward. This level's design, stars, and music are all perfect. It's weird and strange and sort of unexplainable, just like B33. In my opinion, it's the best level in the entire game.